One of the things that's going on social media right now as we speak is the WNBA referees are getting destroyed. And I mean, they are getting crushed online. Honestly, they're getting crushed during every single game. I've seen a lot of people come out and say, the WNBA referees, is this what it's about? Because they're the worst referees in the history of any.
A slew of dubious officiating decisions against Caitlin Clark have caused a significant scandal that has rocked the league.
There's a couple angles. One is the economic model that drives valuation, so your revenue and our media rights deal and our corporate partnership revenue, and obviously fandom in arena and on digital and social platforms. And then there's the player storytelling, which is more the marketing angle, where we've hired a lot of expertise around that in-house at the WNBA to drive storytelling, short form, medium form content, in addition to
frame-by-frame video verifies what many fans and commentators have long suspected: a persistent pattern of unfair refereeing directed against Indiana Fever standout sophomore Caitlin Clark. However, the intensity increases even further. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert is in crisis mode due to the uproar, and there are rumors that NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is becoming impatient and may take drastic action. Is Engelbert's employment in jeopardy because of the way she handled the situation? Keep an eye out. There are several unexpected turns in this tale, and the truth may leave you stunned.
Clark gets it. She's got time. Cloud defending. Clark trying to create some airspace. Long three at the horn. Oh! Caitlin Clark rising from the ashes here in the...
In a thrilling 91-90 defeat, the Indiana Fever faced off against the Atlanta Dream. With Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell putting on a formidable performance, it appeared to be a showcase of star power. By himself, Clark scored 27 points, dished out 11 assists, and pulled down 5 rebounds. The record for the most 20-point, 10-assist games in WNBA history is tied by Courtney Vandersloot. The shocking thing is that Vandersloot needed more than 400 games to reach that milestone, but Clark just needed 42. Additionally, she became the 4th fastest player to reach 800 points in her career. For more fantastic material, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. Thank you. By all accounts, this ought to have been a celebratory evening, with fans buzzing and commentators applauding Clark's quick ascent. However, something else took center stage. The topic has completely changed due to a frame-by-frame dissection that went popular on social media. The footage seems to show a very unsettling pattern of officiating that looks to be deliberately biased against Clark. We're not only discussing the odd poor decision. This video shows obvious no-calls, phantom fouls, and missed whistles that are far too often to be written off as coincidences. Furthermore, the WNBA's inaction or quiet has only heightened the indignation. The league's approach has fueled an already volatile issue rather than putting out the flames.
Action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off.
This is when things start to drastically change. Despite playing excellent, textbook defense, standing upright, and not moving, Clark was given dubious fouls and still received a whistle. Opponents' comparable contact, however, was not called. This appears to be targeted rather than random. Even casual fans, commentators, and celebrities are speaking out because the pattern is so clear. You can tell it's serious when basketball referees are being called out by golfers. What is worse? The stillness of the WNBA. Nothing to say. No evaluations. Not even the standard method of investigating it. A viral reaction is being fueled by the lack of response, with fans and media speculating that the league is uncomfortable with Clark's fame. Furthermore, it involves more than one player. With about 70% of the league's viewership, Clark is driving attendance, TV ratings, and sponsorships all by himself. However, others think the league is attempting to contain her rather than embrace her. Broadcasters were also given pre-written talking ideas on how to discuss Clark, according to a heated mic incident. If officiating is being controlled, so is media coverage. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, who is currently under criticism, is at the center of it all. According to reports, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who is in charge of the WNBA, is paying careful attention and becoming impatient. This debate has the potential to change the league's future at a crucial juncture.
You know what's funny about the commissioner of the WNBA? she successfully pisses off everybody. Regardless of which side you're on, it seems like she's either getting called a racist, but at the same time trying to prop up players that clearly are not in the same marketable.
The plot then takes a different turn. The situation has only become worse due to Engelbert's handling of a different incident, a false inquiry into alleged racist chanting by Indiana Fever supporters. There was no audio or video evidence to support the assertions, which were based on unreliable social media posts. The alleged shouts were linked to a YouTuber's laugh track, and the accuser's account has since been disabled. Not even the former Indiana coach of the Chicago Sky heard anything improper. However, the WNBA conducted a thorough investigation without providing a deadline, raising concerns among Indiana supporters. In the meanwhile, postings with bullseye targets and actual threats on athletes like Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull are being disregarded. Many are perplexed by this selective fury.
The thing they're trying to speak into existence is 6 or 7 players averaging double figures. They believe it.
Are clearly gained. The WNBA strategy verges on organizational malpractice from a business perspective. The league has traditionally had financial difficulties and is mostly dependent on NBA funding. However, Clark's rise has changed the scene by attracting new supporters, increasing item sales and media partnerships, and raising viewership, social media interaction, and ticket sales around the league. Other celebrities like A.J.A. Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu are reaching a larger audience because to Clark's ascent. Why, therefore, does it appear that the league is battling its greatest asset? The Fever Dream Game was supposed to be a highlight. However, the pace was slowed and the viewing experience was negatively impacted by inconsistent and harsh foul calls. Clark is unfairly singled out by when calls. New supporters are left with a foul taste when her defense is penalized while her offense is ignored. Once a league's game is perceived as being rigged, it cannot attempt to expand.
New York Liberty hands the Indiana Fever their second loss of the season, with many fans blaming the referees for their horrible officiating at the end of.
After then, things get out of hand. The WNBA's inquiry of Fever fans runs the danger of alienating the very fans who are propelling the league's expansion, those who purchase tickets, jerseys, and subscriptions, and turning the league around financially. However, Engelbert's answer, which is based on a fake, portrays these followers like suspects in a hate crime. Due to a bogus report, there is even talk of moving the All-Star Game from Indianapolis, which would be a career-ending mistake. The most notable aspect is Clark's professionalism. She never grumbles or disputes despite difficult physical play, missed calls, and the league's seeming opposition to her ascent. She just lets her game speak for itself. In contrast to the league's disorganized reaction, Clark maintains her composure despite her teammates starting to voice their concerns about the unjust treatment. The unfairness is only highlighted by this serenity. Clark is being physically targeted without protection while setting records. The WNBA cannot afford to let its brightest players suffer injuries from rough play, which is encouraged by the absence of calls. You'll understand why this is so important at the end.
Well, they called a transition take foul. They will, and now Clark gets a T in addition. That is an unbelievably costly season.
There is more to the dispute than just officiating. With Clark supporters fighting against a vocal minority attempting to control the WNBA, social media has turned into a battlefield. The most recent example is the scam of monkey noises. In the past, any call that was harsh, offensive, or dubious was turned into a victim narrative directed against Clark's followers. After merely praising Clark on a triple-double, even LeBron James became embroiled in the controversy. Despite his extensive history of social justice work, fans incorrectly accused him of neglecting or caving in to black players. The irony is astounding. Under Engelbert's supervision, this poisonous atmosphere has been allowed to worsen. She has established a league where acknowledging a player's accomplishment is perceived as a racial betrayal by confirming unfounded allegations and disregarding genuine threats. She is either the ringmaster or incapable of running the circus. The NBA now has 3 options: acknowledge officiating issues and make a commitment to fairness, ignore the problem and hope it goes away, which is their present but deteriorating tactic, or reject the legitimacy of the film, which would be dangerous given how obvious it is.
I was in my first collective bargaining meeting in the last round, and we have come a long way. But we all said we're going to invest, the owners are going to invest, And we're actually going to build an economic model to be able to set this league up for decades and to set these players up for generations. And we have so many great rookie classes to come. Even if you look at the U17 players, they're amazing. So we want to set this model up to be sustainable. We did give charter for the entire season and playoffs last year. That'll continue. That is, obviously is on the list, as well as higher player pay. And now we have a media rights deal that will help us really.
The big NBC deal, right? You're part of that.
Order. Whatever the WNBA determines, the harm has already been done. It is evident from the story that the league is withholding its brightest star. While some fans witness Clark getting slammed without being called, others receive free throws for very little contact. This is indisputable because to the viral compilation. However, this is about the WNBA's future rather than merely Clark. Ticket costs and attendance have been significantly impacted by Clark's recent left quad injury, which has kept her out of action for at least 2 weeks. She has contributed around 26.5% of the league's 2024 income as the star guard for the Fever and the 2024 number 1 draft selection. She has been a major force behind record-breaking attendance and viewership. Tickets for Fever games have fallen 41% overall since her injury was announced on May 25, 2025, with some games seeing a 71% decline. Due to clock-driven demand, high-profile matches that were relocated to larger stadiums now see a decline in interest and attendance. The team's capacity to fill venues is threatened by Clark's absence. Her games frequently sold out or set attendance records, including a 2024 record of 20,711 spectators. Thanks in large part to Clark and a $2, the WNBA was on target to make over $200 million a year at the beginning of 2025. $2 billion media rights agreement. However, the league will lose between $40 and $50 million in income without her. Adam Silva, the NBA commissioner, is keeping a careful eye on things. Silva concentrates on long-term expansion and fan interaction, despite the NBA's own issues. In the meanwhile, Engelbert appears preoccupied with social media disputes, pursuing unfounded accusations of racism rather than backing the league's most valuable asset. The WNBA is on the verge of being financially independent, but each false probe and mistake runs the danger of upsetting the supporters who helped make that happen. Silva might have to step in if Engelbert keeps going in this direction. The time is running out. Engelbert has to decide if he wants to be seen as the commissioner who turned the WNBA into a lucrative organization or the one who ruined its greatest opportunity to remain relevant. There will inevitably be a discussion with Silva, and it could result in demands for new leadership. Because the consequences will not only be likely but also inevitable if Engelbert continues to pursue fairy tales while the league's future is at stake.